Hello everyone, Sarah here at Three Little Potters, and I'm doing a glaze review for you today, and I have gotten my hands on Ocean Drift by Amaco. Very excited to try out this Flux glaze. I think it's going to be great. If you're new to my channel, I make a lot of little bowls that I sell in my Etsy shop, and I test a lot of glazes, and I work with a lot of different glazes. So today I'm kind of going to be doing this glaze over and under, a few different options for you, kind of see how it behaves and whether we like it or not. I think we're going to love it though. I've seen some really great things about these new Amaco Flux glazes online, so I'm pretty excited about that. Could have gone a little fuller with that, eh? No, I'm sure it's by weight, but really it does look a little bit empty-ish. Fill it to the top for us, guys. All right. So I'm going to stop saying so. I'm going to put this glaze over some brown bear clay, some Rouge stoneware, but most of our tests today are going to be on B-Mix 5. I'm going to start out putting dripping it everywhere, a single coat on some of these, and then we'll let it dry in between, put more on. Here, I'm going to show you a little closer here. Looks like it's got some of those little specks in it. So then I'll go back in and hit where my fingers are. Having a tough time deciding how many tests I want to do with it. It's I know everybody usually does one test tile when they're trying a new glaze, but I always go all in and test a glaze on a lot of different things to see how it behaves. I have found in the past that the Amaco glazes tend to like 3 coats rather than 2. I'm often a glazer who likes to only put 2 coats on things because it takes a long time otherwise. But I'm suspecting this glaze is going to appreciate 3 coats instead of 2. So our controls will have 3 brushed coats on them. So once I finish that, I'll go back and touch up where my fingers were. Okay, now we're just going to let these dry for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and put a second coat on all of them. Okay, well, I'm still waiting for some of these to dry. And this here has been dipped in Studio White. So I'm going to put a brush coat over Studio White. I think I will probably try to do 2 brushed coats. I usually do 1. But I'm suspecting we're going to want a more fuller coverage. Okay, so that's over Studio White. This is my Night Glaze. It's very similar to Obsidian if you're only using commercial glazes. This is a glaze called Variegated Dove Gray, which you can find on Glazy. It has had a 1-second dip in that glaze. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put the Ocean Drift kind of thickly around the rim. Okay, so for this here, I'm only going to do the 1 coat of Ocean Drift. So this is ready to go in the kiln. Set that there. This is June Purple. Okay. And this small vase has Studio White on it. Okay, I put a second coat on a few of these here. Second coat on this one here. On the outside, I'm going to layer down a bit, so that's one coat here, but my subsequent coats are going to be a little bit higher up. It seems like these little spots almost want to crumble off. Hopefully they won't get all over everything. All right, this one with the Studio White is going to get its second coat. Just did a light second coat on this one. And then once that's dry, we'll do a little more. This is our June Purple, and we're going to do a second coat here. And our Night Glaze. Second coat there. I feel like I'm running out of light today. We'll see if we can do it really quickly. Finish this up. Okay, so this currently has one dip of Studio White and 2 brushed coats of Ocean Drift, and I'm just going to put a teeny bit of Dirty Snow on the rim. And that one is ready for the kiln. For my June Purple with 2 brushed coats, I'm just going to put a little bit of honey flux on that rim. Let's see how that looks. For my sample that has the 2 brushed coats overnight, I'm going to put pearl white over that rim. Oops, sorry. So that's pearl white, just 1 brushed coat, kind of almost to the middle. For this one that has the 2 coats of Ocean Drift, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of Nebula Blue by Laguna on it so that we can see how those two react together. Now doing a 3rd brushed coat on everything. Third brushed coat here. So this is going to be our control with nothing else added to it, so it's ready to go in the kiln like this. This is our roux stoneware test, and I'm just going to put a teeny bit of oatmeal on the rim with our roux stoneware. So right now this has 3 brushed coats of Ocean Drift and a little bit of oatmeal. For this one, also it has 3 brush coats, and now I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of sand and sea over it. Actually, you know, sand and sea is fairly transparent, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 whole coat right over it. And then on the outside, I'm just going to layer that just a little bit. Okay. And I'm not going to add any additional flux to that. I'm just going to see how that goes. And I will say, I can see some spots of the Ocean Drift coming off on my brush. So if I'm layering this, I probably would wash my brush if I was going to do another layer of sand and sea, because I don't want to contaminate the two. but I am only doing one with that, so all good. All right. A little bit of fuzzy peach on something. Let's go with this one here. Now, fuzzy peach has a bit of sort of a white to it when it floats, so I feel like this might be an interesting combo. Maybe it'll crawl. Hard to say. But Fuzzy Peach is one of the new Spectrum floating glazes. So usually if you have a good result with one of their floating glazes, most will work and give you slightly different variations. So it's always good to try a floating glaze. Okay. And what else do I want to try? Okay. This one has a full coat of Nebula Blue from Laguna on it. And I'm going to go ahead and give it one full coat of Ocean Drift. And I think I'm just going to leave this one a little bit thin, mostly because I'm running out of daylight. And this is our brown bear sample. And for this one, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of dirty snow on the rim. I think it's kind of similar to Mako's Light Flux. Now this is sort of a new glaze for me, and I'm going to try it on one of these little dishes. This is Dark Flux, which I have never used before. So look for a second review video of that at some point in the future. But for right now, I'm just going to put a little bit of Dark Flux right on that rim. This was our Nebula Blue. I'm just going to hit one more time in the middle there. So now Nebula Blue has 2 brush coats of Ocean Drift on it. This is Louisiana Bayou with Ocean Drift over top. Teeny bit of snow on the rim. For this one, Chunsi Foam over top. I think I probably would prefer Ocean Drift over top of the Chunsi Foam rather than this way, but we'll try it. For this last one here, I'm just going to do some Honey Flux over top. There, now that one's all ready to go in the kiln as well. These will all be fired to cone 6 in my Scott 1027 kiln, and we'll see what the results are in another day or two. The results are out of the kiln, and we have some great results. I'm excited about Ocean Drift. Yeah, some of my favorites was Ocean Drift over Nebula Blue by Laguna. That looks really pretty. And I really loved it over Louisiana Bayou. Yeah. And, you know, surprisingly, it did well on just every test. None of the tests ran. All of the tests behaved themselves. This is it over Brown Bear Clay. Couldn't be happier with this glaze. It definitely really lived up to its reputation, and I'm very excited. Very excited. Sorry, this was it over the variegated Dove Gray mixed glaze. But let's jump over to the photo table and look more closely at our results. This bowl originally had 2 brushed coats of Laguna Nebula Blue on it, and then I added 1 full coat of the Ocean Drift over top. In the center here, I did another second coat, but my second coat didn't really go here. So 2x Laguna, 2x Ocean Drift. Really pretty. This is a dip in June Perry Purple, which is a mixed glaze, and it has 2 brushed coats of Ocean Drift over top and just a little bit of Honey Flux on that rim. This is Ocean Drift with Dark Flux on the rim, and very subtle difference from Light Flux. I thought that was interesting. I was expecting it to be a little bit more pronounced. You can see just a teeny hint of the darker color here, but not a huge amount of difference. This was the 2x brushed coats, and it has sand and sea over the entire top. This has 3 brush coats of ocean drift and just a tiny bit of oatmeal on the rim here, and this is on Rue stoneware. But you can see that oatmeal is going to be a really great modifier with this glaze. It's really doing some interesting things there. Fuzzy peach on the rim. A little surprised that I didn't get more of a result with fuzzy peach. Fuzzy peach almost just looks like any of the other flux glazes over top of this. And this is a favorite of mine as well. I really love this hint of a little bit darker green here. And this was Chun Seafoam over the Ocean Drift. Three brushed coats over Brown Bear Clay, and a tiny bit of dirty snow on that rim to give it some more movement. Very tiny, but really, really pretty. 2x Ocean Drift over my Studio White glaze, and a few wisps of dirty snow on that rim. If you're interested in getting this sort of running effect, any of the flux glazes look like they'll work well with this. Here's the control. That is just 3 brushed coats on the clay. And you can sort of see here where I've layered down. So you're getting that solid blue when you have 3 coats. 1 coat is very light. This is over Louisiana Bayou by Spectrum. That was 2 brushed coats of that. Louisiana Bayou almost has a sort of floating blue sort of look to it. If you're mixing, I would try mimicking this by having brush glazes or a dip of floating blue first. A little bit of dirty snow on that rim and really, really creating a lot of movement. 1 brushed coat in this section here over Variegated Dove. Two times Ocean Drift overnight with Pearl White on the rim. Honey Flux over 3 times brushed Ocean Drift. So just 1 layer of Honey Flux to about here. For this small vase, Ocean Drift was over Studio White, and it has a little bit of Nebula Blue on this rim to about here. When we're looking at these together, there's definitely a lot of similarities between the different variations. I would say that it's a pretty solid glaze and it holds its form really strong on that brown clay too. Final thoughts on this glaze. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. It worked well on everything, no running. I obviously did layer down a little bit on those edges that are very close to the kiln shelf, but well behaved. It worked with all of the different commercial glazes, Spectrum, Laguna, all of them, no crawling at all. Yeah, really excited to keep using this glaze. I think it's going to be a great glaze for my collection. Yeah, let me know what you think. Have you guys tried this glaze yet? Do you like it? Think of adding it to your collection. I would say if you don't have Shipwreck, then this is a great glaze to have. I can see a little bit of Ocean Drift and Shipwreck maybe having that same blue speckled glaze, but this is definitely a lot lighter and brighter of a speckled glaze. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'd love it if you liked and subscribed. If you found this content helpful, it helps me have money to review more glazes. So have a good day.